Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening.
All right, someone can hear me. Good evening. Welcome to our introductory class today. Hold on. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to this session. So where do we start from? This class is actually meant to be for, let me see. Share screen. Paste. All right, so I can see my paintbrush now. Okay, so this class is meant to be for Mondays and Wednesdays. Oh, okay. So by the way, my name is Akin Aregbesola. So I'm not your regular trainer for this course, but I'm just standing in today because the regular trainer has another class only for today. So from next week, Monday, he would be available to start the class proper. For today, I will just take your questions and then introduce you to IT, because I am aware that most of you, if not all of you, are completely new to IT. So the idea is to give you at least a sense of direction today. And of course, that will continue throughout the training, or at least to make you comfortable enough to start the training proper on Monday next week. So that's the whole goal of this training. So unless you are really very comfortable, we may not be doing anything too technical today. We'll just be talking on the surface. All right, so I believe you can hear me. This class, we have another class that is currently going, running for Tuesdays and Thursdays. But this particular class is for Mondays and Wednesdays. All right? Mondays, Wednesdays. So if that's not convenient for you, let's discuss it. Yeah, we could discuss it here, and then we'll see the possibility of you joining the other class. But this particular one was specifically scheduled for people who could not fit into that class because it was inconvenient for them. All right, Jack. So yes. So like I was saying, this class, I believe you can hear me still. So this class is for Mondays and Wednesdays. And is for, starts at 6 p.m. Texas time, CST, and usually would last for 3 hours, which means it would be normally, unless the trainer decides otherwise, or unless you are not, for some reason, we change that, but normally it's 6 to 9 p.m. 2 days a week. And then the other days, what do? You practice. You practice. And then this, please can I join Tuesday, Thursday, because I already fixed my schedule for, yes, we can add you to that class. So please do me Which class is Tuesday, Thursday? Wow. Okay. Am I missing out something here? How many people? I thought we formed this platform for Tuesday. Am I wrong? How many people are here for Mondays, Wednesdays? How many are we? Oh, okay, 5 of us. I chose Mondays, Wednesdays. Okay, who else? Because I'm seeing that 3 people are opting for Tuesdays, Thursday. That wasn't the what was that was not what we had in mind. Olushola is for Tuesday, Thursdays. Admin. Olushola to everyone. Please, can I join? Okay, just Olushola and admin. Okay. Oh, yeah, admin again. So of the 4 of us, how many of us? 5 of us here. 2 people will be opting for Tuesdays, Thursdays. How does that work now? So how does that work? I'm a little reluctant because Tuesday, Thursday has gone. Okay, let's chat after this class and see what we can do. We may have to hold a different session for you because the other class has gone at least 3 weeks ahead of this class. So let's see what we do for you to be able to cope with that class, or if you would be joining a future class. But that's not likely. It's not likely that you join a future class because the training is going to be more expensive in the future. All right. The scholarship we're enjoying ends today. After this, it goes back to the normal fees. So, okay, so let's discuss that so I don't spend the whole class time thinking of a solution. All right. So can we discuss that after this session to see how we can move the Tuesday people to a different class? Monday, Wednesday. Okay, just 2 people. Yeah, since you are not talking, I'm looking at the text message to see response. So can we discuss that after class? I hope you can hear me clearly. Not even one person is talking. I'm lucky I'm not taking this class because I can't take class where people don't talk.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah, but I need feedback too. The only way for me to know you.
Sorry about that. I thought maybe you unmute us. You don't want us to talk. That's
no.
Anything.
It wasn't deliberate.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right. So, So can we go on so that we discuss?
Yeah, that's fine. We can discuss about this later. Okay.
All right.
All right.
And who is that? Who is making that contribution?
Oh, this is Olushola.
Okay, sounds like Olushola actually. So we've had other Olusholas in other classes. So.
This is Olushola. They was.
Okay. All right, so that's fine. So welcome to IT. Now, what would we be learning in IT? First of all, let's quickly do an overview of what we have here. So this is the website and these are the courses we offer and this is what you are taking. So in your first month of training, we are going to do cloud server administration.
Are you sharing your screen because we can't see that?
Oh, okay. Give me 1 sec. Thank you. If you didn't talk, I would not know that. So let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay, here. So in the first month, we'll be looking at cloud server administration, simply called Linux. In the second month, we'll be looking at cloud in details. All right, simply called AWS Cloud. And in the third month, we'll be looking at infrastructure as we have changed this slightly to reflect the regular program, but for now, let's just say we are looking at infrastructure as code. All right. So in the first 3 months, we'll cover these 3 courses. And by the coverage of these 3 courses, 1, 2, 3, you would become cloud solution architect. I will explain what that is and what they do. And then if you proceed to the next 3 months of training after the first 3 months, we call this, or I specifically call this, advanced courses. Then we are going to do what we call DevOps using containerization. And then we'll do DevOps using Kubernetes. And then we do DevOps using Microsoft Azure. All right. So I'll give you an overview of what all of this is. But for now, let us start with these first 3 courses. This is what you'll be doing in the first 3 months. Again, I know that what we advertise, let us go by what we advertise. It's slightly different here. The reason is because we keep changing the curriculum and the content according to market values and demands. So for your own specific case, you have made your first payment for this course. Then on top of this course, you will get either AWS or Azure, one of them.
Yes.
Although
yes.
I hardly recommend AWS for the second month at no fee. All right, so that stands for you. All right. So in the first 1 month, we'll be learning Linux. What is Linux? So Linux is basically, let me give you a demo of what Linux is. So if we go into cloud now, to come into cloud, I'm going to say aws.amazon.com. There are 3 major cloud providers. When we say cloud, there are 3 major cloud providers. The providers are AWS, Amazon, providing AWS, Microsoft. So for people hearing this the first time, let me put something down so they can relate. Okay. So when we say cloud service providers, there are 3 of them, 3 major. There are hundreds actually, but the 3 major providers of cloud services are Amazon, Microsoft, and then what? Who else provides cloud services?
Google.
Google, yeah. So the cloud platform of Amazon is called AWS. The cloud platform of Microsoft is called Azure. And that of Google is called Google Cloud Platform. Of these 3, this is the market leader. So for that reason, we want to first of all do AWS. And then after AWS, you may do any other cloud, right? The second market leader is Azure, and then the third is this. So anytime we talk about cloud, without referring specifically to any of this, by default, we are talking about AWS cloud. All right. So if I take you into AWS now, which is what you'll be doing throughout, going into AWS to set up services and manage services, what we are going to learn now is I'm not sure we should do that right away, but I wanted to demonstrate to you how Linux works within cloud. All right. But before then, what is the meaning of cloud? So for your IT, when we say IT, we basically mean that there is something that you want to process. There is data, there is, irrespective of whether that data is in the form of text, video, audio, whatever it is, even voice, we call it data. So when you have something to process in order to get an output, so what comes in, we call data, and then we call that info generally. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there are systems here that you must put in place and network together, not just one system, because we are not talking about word processing or Excel. We are talking about processing, for example, data of a whole country, or maybe that's an exaggeration, of 450,000 customers, or 2 million customers of T-Mobile. So that kind of data, you don't work with one computer. One computer will crash with ordinary 20,000 data. So you have to have many computers working together to be able to process that kind of data and get whatever output. It could be that you are imputing voice and putting picture on the voice, and then you get video as output, for example. But whatever it is, these computers have to be connected together to form one single power. The resources will be combined together to form a single unit. When you have that, you say you have a computer network. All right. So traditionally, what you do if you get wanted to set up a telecoms company, for example, that will take voice from customers on one side and transmit the same voice to other customers on the other side, then like we said, one single laptop will not be able to do that work, unless, of course, we are talking about 3, 4, 5 customers. If you are talking about 5 million customers, then you need a whole bunch of servers, of resources combined together, working as a network to do that. Okay, so the point here is, traditionally, you would have to go and buy computer 1, computer 2, computer 3, computer 4, 70, 100 computers, and then set them up in an office, and then get somebody to sit there and work on it, and so on and so forth. This is old. This is tradition. Tradition. So in these days, this is not what we do anymore. These days, what we do is we just set up this physical. This tradition is physical equipment, physical. So we set up the equivalent of this physical equipment in the virtual form. Virtual. So that means instead of having physical computers, we are going to have computers that are not physical. They are just there by buttons, you press them, and they will do the same work, even more powerful than these physical computers will do. So that place that you go into to set up virtual machines that will run like this one will run, that place is called cloud. All right. And this cloud is actually drawing the services, cloud services, is drawing the services from physical machines that have been set up somewhere, running into billions of dollars. Physical machines running in warehouses as data center. So this is the data center that is running the physical machine that provide this virtual service in the form of cloud. Am I making sense? Am I rushing? Are you getting what we are saying?
Yeah, we're getting it.
Okay. So behind every cloud provider, there is the powerhouse where they run their computers, they have their cabling, they have their generators, they have everything physical that you should have had if you were setting up your own traditional network. So that place is called data center. So Amazon has data center all over US, in fact, all over the world. It's called footprint. All right. So each of them has data center across the world, and it is from the services running in this data center that your virtual environment is formed, and it's a virtual environment that gives birth to this concept of cloud. All right. And what does cloud look like? This is simple. Let's go into one of the clouds so that you see what we're talking about. It's not so abstract. So we'll come here, and this is cloud. This is AWS. AWS, the cloud services provided by Amazon. This is it. So if I come to services in, I hope you can see my screen. Services in cloud, I'm going to see that there are services for analytics, services for application integration, services for blockchain related, services for compute, services for container, services to manage database, to develop applications, and so on and so forth. And under each of them, there are several other services. For data migration and transfer, for example, there are all of these services. So altogether, we have thousands of different services available in cloud. So under the course AWS, you are going to learn as many of these services as you are expected to know as a cloud solutions architect. The truth is, no one man can understand all of the services by himself. Otherwise, that one man will be an entire IT department. So some people will be specializing in storage, some people will be specializing in robotics, some people will be specializing in code development, Internet of Things, machine learning, database. So your IT team, the team that you are preparing now by this training to go join, will be made up of different subject matter areas, different subject matter experts according to these areas. All right. In your own case, you'll be learning as many of not all of them, because like we said, it will take a lifetime for one person to be able to manage them. Also, there are specialization, there are division. You want to call it division of labor, so that some people specialize here, others specialize here, others specialize here. So in a team of 50 IT experts, one person may specialize here, one person may specialize here, and then you now work together to make that vision for that company, for that organization, technically possible. But in this case, this is what I just want to demonstrate. This is something you'll be doing every day anyway, so there's no rush about it. But just to give you a feel, I'm just going to set up a server in cloud now. So right now, I don't have any server running in my AWS account. You are going to set up your own AWS account. It's free of charge as a learner. You will not be charged unless you use services that are outside the free tier category. All right. So if I come here and I say instance, I'm going to create instance. You are going to learn to do this. I'm just giving you an overview. I'll say launch instance. And I'll say I'm going to launch my server, call it server. All right. Maybe I'll have many servers, so I call this one server 1. All right. And then I say in this server, I want to run Linux operating system by Amazon. All right. Again, you are going to learn that Linux is one. However, Linux is one language. However, there are many dialects. In other words, many distributions. We call them distros of Linux. In this particular case, we are going to learn the distro of Unix by Amazon. And then we are going to run that in fact, let me not do. Let's just go ahead and create that machine. And then I just come here and I say, don't worry, you will learn all of this. We'll settle that. And then I say use a key pair called the DeITern key pair, for example. And I say launch my instance. By that, I have created a server. Maybe I intend to run my application, my dating app, or my delivery app, or my task collecting app. I intend to run that application inside this server. So the first thing to do is to get the server ready so that I can now run my application inside it. Now, let me show you what I came here to show you. Now that I'm here, I'll take the server. All right, and I'm going to see the details about that server. In order to run my application inside this server, I need to go into the server. To go into the server, I'll connect to the server. And I'll say connect to my EC2 instance. Let me move this up. Okay. And I'll say connect. So now that I am here, what do I do from here in order to set up my application in this server so that the whole world will now be able to connect to my app through their mobile phone, through their other systems from wherever they are in the world? I need to put the app here. That is why it's called server, so that I can serve them. Ladies and gentlemen, now that I am here to do that work, what do I do here? So I have been to cloud. I have set up the server that I need. I have put, assumably, every service, every cloud service that I need to run around the server. But now I am inside. I've connected to the server. Now that I'm inside the server, what do I do here in order to execute my job? I have no idea what to do here unless I know Linux. This is where we use Linux operating system. So we are going to spend the next 1 month learning. When we get here, what do we do in order to put files here, make the file available to the public? If we do not want the file to be available to the public, block them from being available. How do we create another server for South Africa, one for Europe market, and copy files from one? All of that we'll learn via the use of Linux commands. So Linux commands will be in command line interface like this. This place compared to this graphical place. Do you see me using mouse to click stuff? This graphical interface, graphic user environment, is different from here because right here, there is nothing to use mouse to click. So therefore, we call this one the command line interface and the other one the graphic user interface. As an IT person that is looking for a six-figure job, you must be able to work from here effectively. If you work only from here, you are not an IT person, you are just an IT user. So the reason you are here is to learn how to work from servers. Servers work from CLI. But this one is client. The client are the systems or the mobile phones that depend on the server that fetch applications from the server. So they are not servers, they are clients or users. All right. So we are training you to become engineers, people who work on the server side of things. If you imagine that this is a restaurant, this is the table, well set, the food presented, and you are eating as the customer. But this place is the kitchen. The kitchen is not the same thing as the front end where everything is neat, people are enjoying themselves. Here you are sweating, there's smoke, you are frying. So this is the kitchen that we are training you to be active participants in. All right. So like we said earlier, the way to work here is to be able to work from command line interface. And compared to Windows, which is the popular operating system, as far as working from the GUI is concerned, Windows, the operating system that we use in servers for command line interfacing is Linux or Linux. You get that?
Yes.
Okay. So do you now see why Linux is important in all of this? So here we are coming to learn print working directory. Where are we? Now we know where we are. CD, take one step backwards, CD ... Where are we now? Print working directory, CD, home, print working directory. Show me the list, the content that I have here, ls-l. Oh, that is it. Get me into this directory called var, cd, var. These are the commands that we are going to learn. Now that you are inside var, what do we have? ls-l. Oh, we have all of this. Okay, now I want to go into opt. Cd and so on and so forth. So by the time you are done with Linux, you would have learned at least 100 different commands without you knowing, because it's going to be really smooth, and you just learn one more command every day, and then you'll not be able to navigate around here. So if somebody comes and says, take me to this place and make this file available, or delete this directory and its content, or move this file to this place, because everything in computing is file, whether it's a voice that you are trying to delete from security agents, or whether you are trying to trace a particular file to see what your log, to see what happened in the last 2 days. Our computers were hacked. Who came here? What happened? System, tell me. So whatever it is that you are trying to do, as far as it's on the server, the way to do it is from this interface, this blank interface run by Linux operating system. So that is the place of Linux. After you have learned Linux, and you can at least come into cloud to set up a server and manage the server with your knowledge of Linux operating system, the next thing you want to do is to learn additional services, because there are so many services. There's database, there's compute, there's container. You want to learn additional services available. S3, storages, additional service security available in cloud. It's not enough to go to cloud and set up a server. We have already learned to do that in 15 minutes. So every 9-year-old boy can do that. So that's not a big deal. But you need to be able to secure the server, to connect the server to database, to add additional compute resource to the server. For example, I think yesterday or so, I had my production server down because the developers were trying to do something and they got stuck on the way and it could not run. And then I went into my server, my production server, not in this environment, and I saw that all I needed to do was to increase the volume of my storage by 20. Well, I did not know, but when I did that, it worked. And they abandoned the work, and I said, I cannot leave my server down overnight, my production server, it has to work. So if I did not know all these other services, I would not have been able to resolve that issue. So developers know development. They do not know work related to servers as much as you will do, because you are going to become the server man. So you need to be able to understand these other services in ways that will enable you integrate them and make your IT infrastructure. In that case, we no longer call it just server. A server running along with other services on it. So we call it infrastructure. Server is too small. So you need to be able to manage, know what to do when things are moving smoothly, know what to do when things are not moving smoothly, know where to back up, and so on and so forth. All right. So for that reason, you are going to learn additional services. It is those additional services that we will learn under AWS Cloud Solutions Architect. Haven't learned AWS, haven't learned Linux in the first month. So do you see where you'll be going in the first 2 months?
Yeah.
Is that lady the only person in class? Are you everybody busy?
No, we're listening to you.
I need feedback.
There is another lady here.
But we don't know now if you don't talk.
I've been talking. We say yes, no. Yeah.
Was it you that was talking? Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I'm doing cloud server administrator with Linux, and I'll be doing Azure Cloud Solution Architect.
Okay.
Second one.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go on. For the 3rd month, you know how, ideally, you know how you're able to come here and then you are using mouse to click stuff around. By the 3rd month, you are going to learn that, like we said, using mouse to click stuff around is not the ultimate in IT. It doesn't take you anywhere. But your ability to do the same thing in this environment, the things you should have done using mouse to click, you should be able to do them by running codes here. And these codes will go into cloud to do the job. All right, it will be true at this level. I don't want, I could have, yeah, I could do a demo, but I don't want to now, it's too early. So once you're able to run code, this is an example of Python code that is running, that will run in cloud to deploy your EC2 and so on, your server. So it is your ability to do the equivalent of what you do here from here. That is what we call infrastructure as code. In other words, we are saying go to cloud and do all of this. So we wrote everything down that it should do in the form of code, and then we just deploy it. And then all we do is, okay, maybe I should just do a demo for you. So if I come here and okay, so so this is the meaning of infrastructure as code. How do you use the infrastructure standard? There's a tool called Terraform. How do you use Terraform and these days Python as well to set up your infrastructure in cloud without logging into this cloud environment? That is what we are going to learn under infrastructure as code using Terraform and Python. All right. So month 4, for those that will be progressing all the way, it's okay to have that knowledge and test the waters. Sometimes you are lucky. Sometimes you are not so lucky because you find that the questions they're asking you at interview, you need this advanced knowledge to be able to pass them. So you may want to say, okay, let me just go through the whole thing and be 85% ready for the market, rather than just stopping midway and only about 50% ready, because you are going to find competition that everybody can pay this to come out. All right. Again, let's even start. Let's not. So this one, let me explain. This is where the real work as a tech person starts. What happens here? Let me explain what happens from this month 4 all the way to month 6. Let's go. So if I go to my pen brush, and then instead of deleting this, I just move to a new page. Yeah. Let me just create. All right, so this is what happens in DevOps. There's so much talked about DevOps. So in DevOps, you have developers, coders, programmers from all over the world, from India, from China, all of them writing codes for Tesla. And when they write these codes for Tesla, they'll put the codes in a central place, all right, called repository. All right, so the codes are here, raw codes. And then you have your cloud that you set up earlier on. You know, you went into cloud and you learned the different services in cloud in the first 3 months. And now you are now able to set up a server in cloud that has a firewall around it and other services that you have learned. So this server, let me not put it inside. So this server has so many services. And one server is not just running daily as a server, but has other services running with it. What do we call it? Infrastructure. We have our cloud infra there. So this cloud infra we call operations. Operations. This is our operations. Our application needs to be in here for the world. Our 1 million customers, our 1 million bank customers, or our whatever app it is, need to be able to access it when it's in cloud. All right. From Africa, from Asia, from Europe, and so on and so forth. All right. So we have our operations, and then we have our development. The development. All right. So between the development and operations, that is where you come in as the DevOps person. So what do? You are going to take these codes, you are going to build the codes into app, and then you are going, in fact, you are going to set up the whole pipeline, that's what it's called, that will convert that code and ultimately deploy the codes into this infrastructure. So from the moment you pick these codes and begin to build them into that, and then it is ready ultimately, and you now deploy the ready app. At this level, it is now an application. So you deploy this app into production, into operations. So this whole process is called continuous integrations, continuous deployment. So this is what you'll be learning in DevOps, right? What are the different tools that you need to put in place and connect? Not just to pull these codes and deploy and build them into app and deploy to production, but also to automate the process, or to make automation. What is this one? Automation. The whole process from here to here. So that is what you'll be learning. And these tools will be tools like Git, Maven, Jenkins. They are Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. Maybe you put Kubernetes here. And then along the line, you have other, your Docker Hub and so on and so forth. So there are a number of tools that you will learn individually, and then you now learn to integrate them. It's like you are joining pipes together, tying the knots, bolting them, connecting everything, make sure there's no leakage, just like you would do when you are drilling raw crude oil, and then you are passing them through pipeline to refinery. At the refinery, it is processed and the different products are separated, and then customers can have access. It's the same. It's just that one is physical, but this one is in software form. So because it involves the coupling and the engineering of all of these individual components, that's why we call this concept DevOps engineering. In this case, these are the tools you are using to engineer the process. So the important word in DevOps is, apart from CI/CD, which is the link that you set up between development and operations to automate the process, the next important word there is automation. We need to automate that. You know what automation means? It means that it's not every time that there is a change here that you have to physically come here manually. No, not physical. That you have to manually trigger a button that will pull that change to go and deploy here. No, you set it up in such a way that anytime there is a change here, it will automatically trigger a button, and that button should open up this link for everything to flow. Even while you are sleeping and developers are changing codes, every time there is a change, it should trigger by itself, not waiting for you to come to work in the morning to say, there's a change. Okay, no. The process would have been automated to pick it and do it itself. So that is the place of the DevOps engineer. Did you get that?
Yes.
Awesome. Now,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me quickly land.
Okay.
Let me quickly cover your own area now. Now, for the people that are interested only in Microsoft Azure, where does that come in? That one is saying that, you know what, this tool, this one tool, this another tool, this another tool, it's really cumbersome to learn all of these tools individually, right? So what Microsoft as a company did, or is still doing, is let's do okay. So they now said, you know what, we are going to put all of this together as a single unit, so that all of the tools, instead of going to Git, to Jenkins, to these different tools one by one and build from scratch to integrate all of them, they just set up a platform that already has all of the tools integrated together. And they call that platform Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure. In fact, forget about the Microsoft. We know it belongs to Microsoft. It's simply called Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps. So what are we saying? That Azure DevOps is a simple application, simple software as a service that is trying to replace the complicated traditional DevOps of having to learn all of this individually. So that's the place of Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is saying, instead of going to Kafanchan, going to New York, going to far west to go and gather things together, I'll just put all of these things together for you in a central place like Dallas. Just go to Dallas, and then you'll be able to do everything you need from that central place because I already provided everything is in the central. So that is so for this reason, because it's already done for you, we call these people Azure DevOps administrators. But we call these people DevOps engineers. Finally, before I let you ask questions, traditional Azure DevOps, the simple Azure DevOps has not replaced traditional DevOps. Traditional DevOps is still the key thing, all right? It's only now that companies are beginning to wake up to use Azure DevOps. I mean, they are embracing. So in the market, we still have over 70% of DevOps of the market of DevOps market using traditional DevOps, and only about 20%, maybe growing now to 30, 35, maybe ultimately someday they'll take over. Only about 20% using Azure DevOps. So it's not a complete replacement. However, it is a simpler option to go. Now, finally, to be honest with you, it's not really easy to not understand all of these concepts and just go straight to Azure DevOps when you do not even know what Azure DevOps is trying to replace here, when you do not know the concept of this, and therefore it is shown here. It is for that reason, because we've tested it the other way around, as at the time you register, and we saw that no, this is not. That is the reason we now moved Azure DevOps to the last course, ensuring that before you do the simple Azure DevOps, you now, first of all, already understand the traditional DevOps and the place of these tools in regular DevOps before you now know how this is done. So for that reason, by the time you understand I'm just talking generally, I'm not convincing you to do it. By the time you understand the real CI/CD and the real Kubernetes DevOps, this one you can even learn in 3 days, because everything that you would have covered here in 1 month, you would have already known here in the 2 months of detailed tools approach here. And that is why it is much cheaper than the traditional ones. All right. So that is the overview of what we'll be covering. And then and that is the overview of what you are expected to know before you can confidently go into the market and say, I am looking for a job as a DevOps engineer. Before you even get your first interview, your prospective employer, recruiter is looking for somebody who understands all of this. All right? Maybe 70% of that, 60% of that, compared to the person who really specializes there, maybe 60%, and so on and so forth. All right. Okay, so I can take your question. Yes, the person who has
You answered, yeah, I was the one. You actually answered the question on your second explanation.
Oh, okay.
So the question I wanted to ask is there another ways to go about the automation if I don't know all the tools? And then you explain that that is where Azure comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
Awesome. So your interview is going to cover all of these areas. And that is why we say DevOps is, I mean, people may say that DevOps is hard. Yeah, actually, it covers a lot of ground, but it also guarantees that once you have a job, you have it forever, because not everyone can go through this hard training. Just like, I mean, traditional words, you say medicine is hard. So not everyone is a doctor. So the few doctors are respected. All right, there are other IT arms that you can cover in 2 weeks and you come out, you say you are looking for a job, but not DevOps. DevOps is deep. But the good news is it's not so difficult. As a matter of fact, it's fun. It's fun in spite of its wide scope. It's fun to learn if you have a good trainer and the training is practical. You are developing projects, you are seeing your project by yourself, because all of the projects you are developing, you are saving them in your portfolio. So there are things you can go back to and look at with pride to say, wow, I did this, I did this. So it's fun to learn. And then by the time you get your first job, if people are talking about layoff here or this, that, it will not be that will not be your business. And even if it does affect you, then with all of these skills, you are sure that getting another job will not be a problem at all. All right, questions, your contributions now. All right, so the course will start properly on Monday, and then we'll now start with Linux, and then we'll start to learn Linux commands. Every course has its own manual. So we'll bring out the manual for Linux, and then we'll use that one to teach you Linux, we'll bring out the manual for this, and then every day we'll do a new project, a new practical. For Linux, it will basically be learning commands every day. So every new day, we revise the old commands, and then we learn a new command, new commands for that day. And then subsequently, we'll learn new commands until we're able to cover all of the commands you need to be able to say, yes, now I can manage servers in cloud. And then I can come and say Linux server administrator. All right, so brick by brick, layer by layer, we'll build until you know it all and you are ready for job.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we're done with the class, do you guys kind of help with resume and the rest?
Yeah, definitely. So all of the, for all of the classes this time, not just for the first 3 months, no, but we have resume sample that covers the comprehensive DevOps engineering training. So everything that would have taught you, we already have them in the format that search engine will quickly recognize and pick for recruiters. So we'll help you with resume, give you that sample, and help you customize your own experience or lack of experience to fit that resume. So the training should prepare you. If you follow closely and you do your own practice, you should be able to claim up to 4 years of experience in your resume to say that you have done this in the last 2 years, you've done this in the last 2 years, this one for 1 year. Just spread your experience across all of these areas. Like I said, using appropriate keywords that recruiters will find and contact you for. Yeah, we're happy with that. So to the extent of it, preparing you technically for interviews, and also giving you sample resume that you can construct your own resume around, will help. Will help. Yes.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So for me, that I was planning to do the Azure one for the next class for the second month. What is your advice, like your suggestion? Do you think I should go for the DevOps one, or so, because I'm really fresh to this, so I'm just trying to figure out the one that is best.
Yeah, we already said that. So you are completely new to IT, you don't know AWS?
Just basic.
Okay, so what we said was, where's mine? Here. That if you are completely new to IT, new to tech, you must take these three to first of all become a cloud solutions architect. So these are the order. You must know Linux. You must know all of the services in cloud as stipulated by AWS in the AWS Cloud Solutions Architect curriculum. And then after that, you must learn to do almost everything you know to do through console. You must learn to do them through codes as well. So doing two of these or one of these and jumping to the next one, I can assure you, it will not help. You only go back to another school to say, they didn't teach me well here. I want to learn more. No, it's habits. That's not to say that if you come and you say, I want to do this, you pay for that. I will not teach you. I'll teach you, but I would have given you my candid opinion based on many years of experience in the industry, based on our trainees that are getting jobs, based on the feedback. I mean, IT is a networking thing. It's not just one man sitting in his room and formulating these things.
So basically what you're saying that it'd be good to do these three before we contemplating jumping to Microsoft Azure or DevOps.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay.
Those three first.
Because me too, I'm completely new to the IT program. So
yeah, I know. That's why we're having this session.
Learn the best, you know.
Yeah. So those three, in fact, this order, month 1, month 2, month 3. All right. If you feel like taking a break or something or doing it cheaper elsewhere, that one is not a problem. But just make sure you follow it in this order. Otherwise, you may end up losing even your investment here and get discouraged along the way because things can just get really, really complicated and you lose your sense of direction and it becomes confusing. Yeah, it could be that difficult and it could be really easy, like I said earlier, if you have everything, if you have a good trainer that is taking your hand and leading you in the direction you should go. Distractions will come, people will be getting jobs from other areas and but if you are focused and you really have defined where you are going and you know, then I mean, we've had people, countless, I'm sure some of them recommended me to you, that were completely novices when they joined. And some of them even before end of training, some 1 month, 2 months, 3 months after training, they get job. I hardly have experienced person joining me. Most of my trainees are people who are fresh into IT and they come back with, wow. The first interview may not work, the first, second, third, even the fourth may not work, but ultimately, as they learn, even from the interviews along the line, the ultimately will get them. So based on all of those feedback, we keep modifying our curriculum to suit the market. For example, Python is a new course that we just introduced 2 months ago. In fact, last month. All right. And then this Azure DevOps was not part of our training when I was charging 4,500 for the total package. Now the package total has reduced because there's recession, yet we're introducing new courses. Why? Just so that we make sure you are fit and compete favorably with other people, other applicants for the same role. So if you follow this order, you are very likely to get it right. If you follow these courses in this order. I know that after you leave here, some other people might say, do this one first, or there's no need for this. Well, different opinions, but I highly recommend this. Yes. More contributions? So the temptation that we had with DevOps earlier on were people who, with Azure DevOps, where the market, when I say people, I basically mean market demand for, you know what, just teach me Azure DevOps, that's all. And then when we teach and you go out there and you don't get the job, it rubbishes us. It just feels that, makes us feel that we just took your money and deceived you. Because when we realize that, no, this is not what we bargained for. There is no way you can get a job with this alone. I mean, in reality, even though it is supposed to be a replacement for all of this, but the reality at job interviews is that you are still expected to, first of all, know the rudiments, the real thing, before you now know the simplified version, because you would run into problems. So you should be able to find ways around the problem. So if you don't know the real thing, then this is just beautiful body. But if you don't know the engine and how to manage the engine, if you run into problems, where do you get help? Yes. Question, I mean contributions. Olushola, you see there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I joined your class. I believe that I believe in you. You can give us the best. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Are you in Texas?
Yes, I'm in Ireland.
Which Olushola is this? Were you part of the training before?
No, this is my first time joining.
Because we know Olushola Arlington that was part of the training long ago. I think when we first started, but it's I'm on with him on LinkedIn. He has a great job now, so that I'm surprised. Yeah, there's another Olushola.
I'm completely new.
Oh, okay. Yeah, also in Arlington. Okay, so yeah, admin. Who is admin here? Your name is showing as admin.
Probably be my friend Baba Tunde Badmus. He probably be.
Tunde Badmus. Which of the Tunde Badmus?
Yes. He lives in Arlington too. We work together. He was the one that we both called you the other 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. You are the guys who originally made me from this Monday.
Yes. Okay. We are the one we're talking about Tuesday and Thursday that we already
wasn't convenient.
Have a schedule.
Okay.
Well, we are completely new to this program. We're coming from the nursing world. We're trying to get out of nursing. It's a women's job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good direction to go from there. Liga, Chiamaka.
I mean, I don't have any question. My thing is, so if we cover all of this, we can basically hit our hand in our chest and say we're DevOps engineer.
Yes, if you cover all of this alongside all the projects that will come with it, because for each of them, from this level on, for each of them, there are projects. By projects, I mean, we're going to tell you, set up a network that will do this. And then for this one, these codes, don't be scared. You are not the one that will write these codes. Can you see my codes? My Python codes?
Yes, you will see.
So just that it's too early now to go into this. So there's something called Copilot. It's an AI that writes code for you. So we're just going to look at it here. Deactivate Copilot is activated now. So we just tell Copilot, help us create an instance that will do this, and it just generates that for us. And then we just copy it. And then we'll just put it here. So when we say codes, it's not like in those days, in our days when we needed to go and learn how to write codes in JavaScript, in Python, in Fortran, all those. No, not anymore. These days, the codes are part of the documentations. So if you go to Maven documentation or Kubernetes documentation, I'm tempted to show you now, but what's the use when we have 6 months to build? You just see that the codes are already there. So just copy, just come here and say, let's say Google Kubernetes manifest for deployment, for example. All right, and then we say container Let's look for it under documentation, deployment, Kubernetes deployment. All right. And then we'll say, look at it. So look at the code. So, all right. So I just
So we're
copy
going to be
this.
using AWS to learn Linux.
Yeah, we're using AWS as cloud to do everything we'll be doing in cloud,
Oh, okay.
including to learn Linux. So
So
every
that's
time
going to
we,
be like our workstation.
yes. Yes. So that's why we call the course. That's the reason we call the course Cloud Server Administrator. So every time we come to learn Linux, we'll quickly go into AWS, set up a server, put Linux in the server, and then we use it to practice. And then once we are done with practice, we'll terminate it so that our base will not run. And then next time we come to class, we'll do it. You see that by the time you do that 20 times, and even when you're sleeping and they wake you up and say, come and set up server for us, we want to deploy, you just do it because we have practice it many times. So yes, even the ones that we are saying involve codes, you are not the ones writing the code, because that's the thing that scares people about coding. And it scared me too, until recent times when AI has taken over and will simplify so many things for us.
Okay.
Are we ready? Justin, are we ready to go to come into
Yes.
IT?
Yes, sir. I already do. I am in IT already, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what's your interest here then?
One of my friends just we said refer me or send me a link, something like that. That's why I talked to you yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But what are you really interested in learning more since you're already into IT?
He said he's making more money, so I want to make more money.
Yeah, and this is a good time to train because IT is actually like in its lowest time right now. So once you train and as soon as you are completing your training, it should, well, maybe not as soon as, but the expectation is that the next thing is for things to pick up. And when things pick up, employers will begin to look for professionals to hire again. And it should pick up so well that you know how things work. It should advance so well that they should even need more professionals, more IT people than were fired when things were low. So yeah,
I said I got a question.
Yeah.
What about integration? It seems like you talk about integration a little bit.
Integration of what?
The application.
Application. Integration is a loose word. It basically means, let's see, integration. I think I mentioned integration here. So when you have this service, can you see that? Can you see my drawing here? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you can see
the screen.
Yeah, we
you
can see you.
drawing. So just putting, joining this service to this service so that when codes, for example, come into here, they're able to flow through there once this guy finishes working on them to this place. That's integration. So whether you are integrating a security service or you are integrating a database, whatever it is that is a separate service that you want to bring into your current situation is integration. So you can, yes.
Am I going to learn that?
Sorry, are we going to learn that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be integrating services even from Linux. From Linux, all the way from Linux, you will learn to integrate two servers together using the appropriate commands. And then, of course, yeah. So integration is not one isolated topic on its own. It's just something that happens throughout the IT process.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's part of it's really obvious. It's really pronounced when we come into DevOps. They will be integrating a lot of tools together to form this pipeline. Integration basically means that you are joining things together. You are adding
Yeah,
things
like
together.
joining data.
You are joining tools that process the data.
Okay.
The tools. For example, we have Jenkins as a tool, and then we have Maven as a tool. But we need to integrate Jenkins and Maven together so that when Maven builds the app, Jenkins is able to take the app from
Yeah,
Maven.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. It's able to take the app from Maven and push it to Docker. So all of that needs to be integrated. And it's just a click of a button. It's not, the word is heavier than the implementation. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So it was meant to be introduction, so we do not want to take all of your time today because it's not the class proper. Let us start properly on Monday. It would be really nice if the Tuesday guys the guys opting for Tuesday, if you can find a way to
Yeah, the
continue
problem
with this
is
class.
that I actually work night shift with my friend, and we do a self schedule. And for this next month, I thought that since you said like 2 weeks ago when I called you, since you said the class start on the 1st and the 15th, and on the 15th followed Thursday, and I see your bronchial is like you have Tuesday and Thursday and Monday and Wednesday. So we basically thought that, okay,
since it's starting on
the
Thursday,
next class start on Thursday is going to be Thursday and Tuesday. So, and we already made our 1 month schedule ahead, and we told our boss at job that, you know what, don't put me to work on Monday and Wednesday. I have a class.
Yeah. This class is actually for Mondays, Wednesday. The trainer already has prepared for Mondays and Wednesday.
That is what happened. If I want to shift to Monday and Wednesday, then it will be very difficult because they already put me to job for the next 1 month for Wednesday and Monday. But every Tuesday and Thursday I'm off.
Yeah, so this class is for Okay. I mean, why you will use a call now? What you said you called, and then for your sake, and your friends, we made this class.
Yes,
Monday,
said that
Wednesday.
What happened when we call you? You say, okay, you will set up another class for on the 15th.
No. I said we'll set up a class. You specifically requested for Mondays, Wednesdays.
Oh, no,
that was your request.
You misunderstand me. It was Tuesday and Thursday. If you read my text, you will say it's Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, it's Tuesday and Thursday, right?
Yeah, you can go back to my chat. You will see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We need to sort that out. Okay. Let me even see. Let's see. Since we still have time, let's see if we can sort it out.
Yeah, maybe after that we can talk about it. We can chat, and see what we can do.
Yeah, but for transparency, so that the rest are aware of it, let me quickly check. You said, what's Olushola? Do I have? I don't think
Olushola, they will see.
I don't save your number like that. So
I think you should have my number on WhatsApp. We chat sometimes.
So let's see. This is give me 1 second. So this is June 15. Okay, so
that's it.
So the classes are registered. The classes are recorded and sent to us, right?
Yes.
So if you look at our chat between me and you, not on the group, on the May 29, when I actually pay for the class, when I send the receipt to you, you will see that I say, you see where I say Tuesday and Thursday day. That day.
Okay.
It was on the 29, May 29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go to our chat history, you will see it there.
So let me see the group chat. So what does the trainer?
It's not on the group chat, it's between me and you.
No, I'm done with it. No, I'm good with you, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let me see what the trainer is prepared for this class. So, are you sure I'm not missing things up? Now, let's see. June 15. Bear with me, guys. Since we are here together, let's quickly see. Maybe it's me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm the one missing things up. Okay, so class starts June 15, link to class will be shared here. Okay, so no information there. So let me go to TTC. And then they should have June 54th on Tuesday. Verification code. I had to talk to DevOps Engineer. Mondays and Wednesdays. Yes. So the class is for Mondays and Wednesdays. Friday. Okay. So the trainer for this class is ready for Mondays and Wednesdays. So this class continues for Mondays and Wednesdays. For Lushola, whoever is not convenient for, let's discuss outside first.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's see the way out of it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So if there are no more questions and no more contributions.
Can I ask this real quick?
Yes.
So do you have a video or anything that we can study before the class next week?
No, not the class by itself is sufficient. Has everything you need.
Okay.
Yes. So it will just be a matter of going back to the videos and then watching all over and practicing, because it's going to be practical. There'll be so much to practice. And then of course you have manual. So you can read the manual ahead of time if you want, but nothing outside. Everything you need is already provided.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We also.
I got another question. I don't know if it's just
okay, no problem.
I think can I text you in private?
Text me in private?
Yes,
you can send me text messages. Yeah. On the WhatsApp group. I mean on the WhatsApp number.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
The question I was about to ask you. Is it necessary for us to get our AWS account ready for the class?
Well, if you have time and you know how to go about it, yes. If you don't, you'll be taught in class how to do it. So you can just
do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you told us you are complete novices, so we're going to take you from the very start. So
yeah, I actually do have a lot of people doing DevOps around me, so I'm kind of familiar with all these things like that. I do have one, so I'm just just trying to get myself ready before the class next week.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Yeah, if you can find, but if you cannot, no problem at all, because that's exactly what we're going to do in class.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, sir. So we will discuss later about it.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you all. And bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah. It was nice talking to you. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye. Rayo.